As I was on my libertarian rant earlier today, I realized something. We hear this all the time that robots will be taking our jobs. But think about it. Do you think it's actually economical for businesses to develop robots at the capacity and investing in that cost? I don't think so. I do think companies are investing in sufficient robot technology to prove that they're capable of doing so. Why? Because if we believe that robots will be replacing us and they can do what we're doing for free, then what do you think we would be much more susceptible to doing? Accepting lower wages and lower regulations for labor. For instance, if we want our job and it's too hot and you got no fan, you're not going to complain because that would be an extra cost. And you know who wouldn't need a fan? A robot. It is merely another psychological tactic in order to force us to accept um, bare minimum conditions and salaries. We're noticing that this whole fear mongering of immigrants are taking your job isn't sufficient. So the next thing to do is to say, hey, we can just replace all of you with a bunch of robots, and that's going to be cheaper than paying you the living wage you need. So what are we going to do? Say, no, pay us $5 an hour. We're happy with that. And that is the libertarian dream, the conservative libertarian dream, for people to not impose any sort of regulations or expectations on businesses, expecting for businesses to not throw chemicals into water. That's going to cost them money. Forcing Boeing to input better conditions, that's going to cost them money. Putting fans in your business area, that's going to cost them money. Why would they want to do that when they can just make a bunch of robots? So we should just suck it up and just work how we work without expecting anything comfortable, right? And that's the thing, it's the illusion. The libertarian dream is the illusion that one day we can also exploit people with our powers if we get to that point, which the focus is for those who have the few, to remain there at the cost of the environment, at the cost of the employees, at the cost of society. The United States of America is now literally the United Corporate States of America, because that's who the leadership is with this Citizens United. And that's the reality. I don't think businesses are going to mass produce robots, but they're going to produce them at a significant rate that they're going to show us that, hey, you can be replaced. And if you do not accept bare minimum conditions and a lower salary rather than a living wage, then you will be replaced. And that's not beneficial for them to do. But obviously, a lot of us are going to be like, okay, let's accept bare minimum. And that's what's going to happen. And then instead of just hiring people who know their value, they're just going to hire people who don't know their value and will accept the bare minimum, which a lot of people are just surviving. So it makes sense that people would be like, okay, exploit me. But in Democrats failing to safeguard this is what we have. This is what we have. The fact that Democrats have been so nonchalant about rights. And it's wild, because when Republicans have minority, they utilize whatever they have in order to create headaches for the majority party, for the majority Democratic Party. Democrats don't do that when there's a minority. All that's done is complaining, hey, we cannot do anything because we're the minority, so make sure you vote. So holding it over our heads. And this is the reality in which we live. And I'm not even sure if it's a country worth saving. Because if libertarians are achieving what they're achieving under Biden, even the fact that Biden wins isn't going to change that they're going to continue to achieve it. But obviously, I'm going to be forced to vote for the cadaver this November. But it doesn't change the fact that the Democratic Party loves Citizens United just like Republicans does. And I know that there's Democrats who don't, but they get retaliated against from the major party, right? They don't care about us. This political government, no matter the party, cares so little about us that they allowed for this to advance, to maximize. And they'll only notice with Donald Trump, but Donald Trump is just the mouthpiece that has been capable of selling this agenda. But this agenda, it doesn't belong to Donald Trump. It belongs to the conservative libertarians who created it before him and who just found the greatest salesman to push it.